Okay, well, hi guys, it's me, Vacuum Smith here, but today, well, I'm just, it's basically, what's happening here is I have my old Bissell Powerlifter bag pet that you've seen on my entire YouTube channel. You guys have only seen the new one 3 times, and those 2 times, the other 2 times was, well, the unboxing video. The new Powerlifter's fine, alright? So since this one is disintegrating, I wonder why. Well, I don't even know what to say at this point. I'm just trying to kill the bearings in the motor. I have cleaned all the grease out of them, and I took the seal off, and if you're wondering all the dust, I've dumped baking soda in there, because I don't have any sand as grit, and I'm doing a pretty good job at destroying the bearings. Last video you guys saw on this thing was versus a giant mound of dirt, and in that video the bearings were already bad, and they were bad before that, and then they were bad before that, and then they were also bad before that, and then they were bad a little bit after that. So, I'm finishing it off, and now, it works right now, but I'll give you a demonstration of what this thing does when I put the belt on. Well, why it does what it's doing. Now, someone from school will definitely recognize these, because I take these to school with me for, well, they're fun to spin, see? These are the old carrier bearings out of my Yamaha Blast. You guys remember that video. Basically, what's happening here is that there's so much baking soda in there that the balls are fixed to the... See, it's doing that inside the motor instead of this. So, the motor doesn't have very much friction because it's not very heavy and it just has to spin. There's also another bearing on the other side that I also cleaned of lubrication. There's another bearing on the other side I cleaned of lubrication, and it holds the rest of the motor, creating less stress on this side, which means it does not need to have the balls move as freely without failure. You just have to be me to understand. Basically, what's happening when I put the belt on, the friction increases by a substantial amount, gets hot, and makes smoke, and then the motor locks up and hums, which can destroy a motor like this. So I'm trying to make this as fast as possible because I hate watching YouTube videos with rambling. It is the most boring thing in the whole wide world, and I hate to be that way. This is what it does with the belt. Oh, it's fixing itself. Oh! Woo! Ow! Oh my Lord, have merciness. Oh my Lord. Oh, let's turn it back on. Oh! Woo! Oof-da! Sparks! Woo! Oh, it's locking up, it's locking up, it's... Oof! Ew! Oh, wow! Woo! Oh my gosh! Woo! Oh, that's all she wrote. Oof-da! It's done. It is done. It's done. Oof. Da. Me. It's done. Okay. It's not completely dead, but the bearing's dead. That means I can still fix it, but... I have bearings, but I don't know how to get that off! It was fun. Okay. What does the insides look like? Okay, what is that? It smells weird. That is now extraordinarily black. What's this gooey stuff slung everywhere? That used to be clean, by the way. Maybe the grit has taken a toll on the motor. I don't see any smoke. But also, another problem is not the commutator, the rotor could have touched the inside of the stator, so that might be bad. But the fact that the motor still worked, oh, it's unplugged, thank God. The fact that the motor still worked is confidence-inspiring. I'm a very strange person, so I purposely make a vacuum cleaner so it destroys itself. And then when it destroys itself, I want to fix it. And that's the kind of person I am. Here's the motor status. Oh, yes. Mint conditions. The good news is what I didn't want to happen didn't happen. This is not wore out. Now this dust right there looks extremely hazardous. I have not looked at the end of my finger yet. What is that? Oh, that's bearing material that I potentially breathed in. That's very good news. Wait a minute, how was that spinning in there? Oh, it was spinning in that. Good thing I didn't try to run the motor any longer. I'm very scared now because of all this bearing shrapnel while the motor was running. Hopefully it didn't get in my eyes. My dad told me a story once. He was looking at a bearing failing, and the particles got in his eyes without him knowing it. But I wasn't close to it, so maybe I'm fine. I realized what's happened here. I cleaned this up, by the way. These stock bearings have a plastic bearing cage holder thinger outer, my bob. And they melt. Apparently, when it gets that hot. And then when they melt, the balls do this and the bearing falls apart. And since it's melted, well, it's not just melted, it's disintegrated, because there's way less melted plastic in this than you would think if that actually melted the way I'm envisioning. This is rough. I don't know, it smells so bad here now. The bottom bearing is fine, though. Oh, maybe. I know how to fix this, but I'll just show you the damage. You're going to like the way I fix it. So, those are the balls. If I can... Jesus. What in the world? Okay, so here's the balls. There's more of them. Let me get another one. They're black. Like melted plastic on them black. I'm sure they wouldn't be as black as if I cleaned them off. They keep getting stuck in between my skin. Alright, anyhow. That's what they look like. Where's the bearing race? Oh, here it is. Roof daw. So there's my molten plastic I was telling you about. It's chunky. And here is the inner race. You can tell it's gotten extraordinarily hot. And there's no way in there. I've been alive, right? I'm 15 years old. I've been around long enough to know that getting just the inner race off a press shaft, especially when it's gotten 98 billion degrees, is impossible. Especially if you don't know or have a good bearing puller is. So, I got a good idea to fix this. Now, don't do what I'm about to do if you want a reliable bearing, because after this gets so hot, the temper comes out of it, and it is now officially a no longer hardened steel. It is now soft steel. That's a vacuum cleaner, remind you. This will be just fine. I figured out why there was less molten plastic. Somehow I completely missed it. This is the ball holder I was telling you all about. This is what does the job of holding the balls apart, so it doesn't do what it just did. As you can tell, that's not holding anything apart no more. Here's how I'm going to fix this. Like I said, I can't press it off, but this is in relatively good shape, and it's not warped, as you can see when I spin it. Alright, anyhow. So I'm going to take that bearing down there has no grease either, but it's not under very much load, so it'll just stay. If it fails on video, it'll be really entertaining. You guys remember I have another one of these vacuums? I've got another one of these, so this is completely done for. It's just a lawn ornament anyhow. I don't use it very often. So I'm going to pop this out because you can take these apart and put them back together, unlike the higher quality versions, as you can see right there. And I'm going to take the balls out here and this race, and it's an extraordinarily frustrating process. This is very hard to do. I can do it, though. I've done it before. I'm going to just... done. Alright, I've removed that because it just clips right out, and then you move one of these balls over the side, and then the whole bearing falls apart, and you can take it apart, and now you have gooder balls and a gooder race. They had play, but I'm telling you, this thing's done for. If it runs after this, I'll be amazed. I'm going to use you guys for light, so I might as well record this. Fast motion commencing. Hoping my battery will last. Task completed. I built a bearing over the old race, as you can see, because of the color difference. Now to reassemble the motor and hope for the best. I performed a spin test with some suction. Let's do it again so you guys can see it. Say it's fine. Not fine, that bearing's been good too. There we go. It's still got play, but it's no longer like falling apart. Ah, yes, it works. Better. It works. No longer falling apart. Let's put the rest of it back together. Alright, it works. It's back in business. Mint condition. I know what I have. This is a good vacuum cleaner. $999 right now.